sure.
I would just like to welcome everybody to this very, very special show today of three very, very highly decorated and capable combat veterans.
God damn it. I leave unsubscribe. I can't even leave that behind.
What? I figured they would love this.
Thank you for your service, bro.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
I mean, look at that hair, dude. You look like you're a third group sergeant major right now.
Not that I left unsubscribe. I did not leave unsubscribe, but I'm not on the set, so I figured the jokes would kind of stay behind. And yeah, here we are.
Hey, we like it, man.
To be fair, you do have more influence over the military than a lot of officers.
Honestly, yeah.
It's been kind of fun with Unsub and with everything that we've been doing, like to try to be able to work with the military in so many ways, whether it's like veteran support or like actually like with the Pentagon, like working with the military and kind of helping with, things that, we both agree are important.
And recruiting. And also too, like, you're on your 7th, 8th year. Where are you at? 6? How long have you really been like in on YouTube,
like and hustling YouTube, like as a main thing? Probably about 10 years.
Yeah. And you see, but also like the crazy thing about this whole ecosystem that we're in is the people that like us are cool people.
Yeah. they're usually all right.
Like they come up and it's like, oh, I'm a detective in Chicago. You're like, whoa. That sounds dangerous.
Yeah, they've got stories, and like a lot of them are really. So, some of them are just like young autistic dudes, but like a lot of them are really cool people.
Yeah, I've had guys like, we were listening to your show on our submarine. What?
Yeah, I'd say our audience has a higher percentage of really cool dudes compared to total weirdos than any other. Like, think about an OnlyFans model.
Oh God!
Yeah, what's that ratio like?
I have a cousin who I don't really talk to on my dad's side. He's a Governale, right? Barely talk to the kid, and then I hadn't talked to him in years and years. And then I was with you all, right? The Unsub crew, and then he sends me a message after years, like, "Hey, cousin, how have you been, dude? So cool." And I was like, "Hey, how have you been? Like, what the?"
You gotta love that. The people that reach out, like high school friends and shit.
But it's cool. You connected me with my old blood,
That's kind of cool though.
Yeah. And now he's trying to come out here, and then he's like, "When do we get to hang out with Brandon?"
Yeah. When do we get to hang out? I'm like, dude, what about me?
Hey, it's cool to meet you again. Huh? When do we? Yeah.
Yeah. Where are they?
That happened. That
are
happened
they in your closet?
That happened once. I won't mention it entirely, but that happened that one time where that one friend came over.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, "Oh my God, I want to go to Texas. I want to shoot guns." And I was like, "Really? I know a bunch of people." And then straight here, dude. And I was like, "Oh, I see what you're doing here." And then, it was kind of funny. And then like a week later, I see her again in Texas. I was like, "Weren't you just here?" And I was like, "Hey, you here?" "Yeah, but I'm already leaving." I was like, "You bitch."
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, for those that hear these two unforgiving voices,
yes,
Caleb is still in Africa.
I think he was killed recently.
I think he is.
He was what?
He was killed.
Yeah.
I heard they harvested his meat, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, They've never seen a white boy that big.
Caleb, I saw last photo I saw of him. He had an apple in his mouth. They were going to grill him like a boar.
Man, do you think he would taste good, bro?
He's going to support a village for at least 3 months.
Dude, I bet he would taste fantastic.
You think so?
Yeah.
There's a lot of meat.
Dude, I'd have a piece of Caleb.
Yeah.
His diet though, like he eats gourmet meals like 3 times a day,
and a lot of sweet. So he's probably got that natural sweetness to it.
Oh yeah.
Like, what is this? It's Caleb Francis.
Dude, it's very juicy.
It's a delicacy.
It's like a honey glazed ham.
That and for some inexplicable reason, after eating Caleb, all of the locals that partook are now jacked a week later.
They're huge. They gained 90
Bro, that
pounds of muscle.
man is getting bigger every time I see him.
I know, but I say the opposite on all his Instagram.
Oh, nice.
I'm like,
getting
man,
small, bro.
Dude, what's up with Africa? You're getting smaller. He's like, shut up.
Dude, the man, like, I fought for a long time, right? And black belt in jiu-jitsu and all that. I think he's at that point where, like, doesn't matter.
Well, I was trying to get to the fact
like where
that
strength actually outweighs technique.
We have you, Justin Governale, here. You hear the voice that you love so much.
Yeah, dude.
And then you have Mr. Brandon Herrera, AK Jesus.
It's a pleasure to be back. Like we were saying before the show, I think this is my 3rd time on.
That's cool.
So it's really cool. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Good to be back.
Hey, man. I'm normal now, bro.
What? Yeah.
Talk your mic that way.
What's up?
Put the mic between you and Jared. Tug it more.
that
Pull
way?
it this direction.
Pull it this
Yeah.
Yeah,
there we go.
But yeah,
Nice. There we go.
anyway, like I do have one of my prized possessions hanging on the wall when you gifted me a beautiful AK-47. That thing is so cool.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad
I-
you're getting some use out of it.
I love it. And Cody gave me a really cool old school car 15. Like these are great gifts, by the way.
We try to be good gift givers.
Every time I look at them, though, it makes me think of you guys. So it's always like, yeah. And I'm always like, yeah.
That and the M79, the thumper.
That thing is so cool. And
Grenade launcher?
yeah.
It's pretty dope.
It was like a 37 millimeter version, like the civilian version, but like still like, you know, it'll shoot shit. But because your bar, the pink 79, which I thought is so fucking cool.
You know, that was Logan's design. And
Really, was it?
Nobody ever gets it. And I think it's because Marines use the M79 more than anybody else.
Yeah.
And it's always like, everybody that comes in that is not military, they'll look at the sign and they'll go, oh, what's pink 79? I'm like, well, that's a flamingo and that's a grenade launcher. I didn't even see the grenade launcher. I go, and there's one hanging above it. They're like, oh my God.
I got it just because, you know, not military, but mild autism. So that you know, it works out. Mild. I'm pretty decent at eye contact.
Yeah. I'm good at eye contact, but it's too much. And I go like this. Actually, stim. I do this when I get excited. Right? I'm sure you guys know this by now. But when I get excited, I go like this.
He really does.
I mean, that's part of your
It's part of my thing, but I think it's
storytelling.
autism, bro.
You think?
Dude, I figured, like, I took an online quiz, right? And it said I was autistic on Facebook.
How do you take a quiz that tells you if you're
No, I
It's the
did take
same-
a quiz. I
Is
did
that the
take a
same quiz that said you were a Hufflepuff?
Yes.
It's the
Yes.
same quiz that tells you through the internet whether or not you're pregnant.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, I did realize that my memory, and this was within the last like two years, I figured it out. Like, I do have a photographic memory, and I didn't know that until recently because I started to consciously realize that when I'm recalling something, I'm looking at it.
I do the same thing. I
can reread a sentence in an email to give you the information that you're asking me for, and I didn't realize that I was doing that.
Huh.
I do that when I tell stories, right? I've been told like, oh, you're a good storyteller and this and that. But what I do is I leave this and I'm like, yeah, and then this, and I tell these crazy stories and people are like laughing, and then I like come back here. And so I
You're
literally
like,
go
blacked
somewhere.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like blacked out again. So I'm gonna tell you about this story when I got molested.
Oh,
No, I'm
God.
just kidding. and then I just start crying, dude. You're like, hey, are you okay? Like,
Justin gets an
I
erection
look
on
up, there's
stage.
nobody here. Yeah.
He's huge,
Yeah.
just hard as
Yeah.
fuck as he's telling the story.
Oh, no. God.
Sorry. Anyway.
No, but back to the people that listen to the shows and things like that. Yeah, you're right. Like, OnlyFans girls, their followings are probably terrifying. Like, I don't even want to know. Because again, like, I guarantee you there's a disassociation between them and the DMs. And they really think that they have had 2, 3, 4 years worth of a conversation with this person.
In
And this
reality,
person
it's Punjabi in India.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I just dealt with this like last week. I literally barely ever block people. I probably have 7 people on my blocked list on Instagram. I don't know. I just don't do it. I just ignore people, or I egg them on and then they get tired. Like, people that want to talk shit to me, like, I will tire them out because I'm like, oh.
Exhaust your
Don't
haters.
mind if I do.
But I had this lady reach out to me a couple months ago and tell me, oh my God, I was in a relationship with you for 2 years. I'm like, well, you weren't in a relationship with me, number one. And then she's like showing me this dummy account and how
It means you've made it, bro.
She's been with this guy for 2 years. He was using pictures of your daughter. And then I have to explain this to a grown woman, though, that like, at first, you know, I was I'm like, hey, yeah, I can't control that. I can't control who takes my photos. I don't know anything about this. And then she starts sending me the stuff that he sent her. And it is like a horrible 1980s Korean film.
How did he get pictures of my dick?
No, but like,
No, they're out there.
it's AI video. I've
heard that.
Of the mouth. It's of a still photo of me, but the mouth is moving, and the mouth is clearly not a real mouth.
Yeah.
By the way, the voice is like, this is like budget AI too. So like, this guy's not even, whoever this is with this woman isn't even using like good shit. It is like the audio pacing was like, "Hey, Sheila, like, what are you doing today? I had to go on a mission in Nigeria, blah, 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 blah." Like, it's so, you can right away by listening to it, you're like, this is fake. Watching it, you go, how is nothing else moving but the mouth? This is a photo. It's not a video. Like, any sane of normal IQ person would watch this video and in 1 second go, that's not real. And she was like, he sent me videos. I'm like, do you not, you thought that was a real video? She's like, yes. I'm like, oh, we got problems.
So I always say that like one of the main reasons, other than just being a good person, just you should be as genuine as possible on the internet, wherever, because people's bullshit filters is way better than you think. Caveat, 95% of people's bullshit filter is way better than you think. That 5%, I'm pretty sure would try to fight their reflection like a dog.
Yes.
There is that 5%.
Because what this woman, so I didn't block her at first. I was like, yeah, hey, this happens. Then like a week later, she sent me like 60 Facebook accounts that were using my pictures.
It's kind of cool.
And
though.
then she was like, you need to message all of them to take this down. I'm like, I'm
made
not,
it, dude.
I'm not doing that.
You made it. That's pretty cool. I've had like one or two, and instead of getting upset, I was like, fuck yeah, I made it, dude. Like,
also, I love that she thinks this is like a swiper no swiping situation where if you just message them, they'll delete their accounts.
you ever see?
What are you doing?
Oh, I was about to put Firecracker Farms hot salt on these delicious blackberries.
Well, why would you put hot salt on blackberries?
Because I'm in the mood for something a little sweet and a little spicy. You know, kind of like you.
Wait, why am I sweet and spicy?
Really?
Oh yeah. Use code MILK to save on Firecracker Farms products.
You
You got me. All right.
All right.
ever see those bots that'll sell your merch and it's not you?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And
I mean, Walmart took one of theirs.
Yeah. Ours was listed on Walmart. There's some on Amazon. Like you can Google our merch and then the first two results will be real. And then everything below that is
wild.
just China.
one of my buddies sent me a picture, and it was like Justin Governale, haha, comedy or some shit. It was just like a microphone, and like it just said my name, and I was like, thanks for the support, bro. And he's like, yeah, man, it just came in. And I was like, wait, from where? And he's like, on your website. And apparently on my own Facebook, I would just comment something, and I don't know how they would block me from viewing the post because I wouldn't see it, but they're sending me screenshots, and it was like, hey, buy my merch. And people actually bought the merch.
Oh shit.
And I was like, that's kind of cool.
They blocked
like,
you from
they somehow
seeing your
commented.
own-
They somehow
what?
commented on my Facebook. People were sending me screenshots, and I don't know how they did it, but I couldn't see the post. And it was like, buy my merch. And what they did was they copied my profile picture, right? And there's
And
a
your
couple.
name.
So I didn't see those, but there are a couple that I do see, and I click, and it's using my real Facebook profile picture, right? And it's like, this account is locked. And they sell merch. They sell my merch. So I go and I have to like report them and
I know
block
how
them.
they did this, dude.
How's that?
This is people inside Facebook.
You think so?
This is an inside job, dude.
Yeah, dude.
We need to go down there. Yeah. You and I, we'll get in his Cybertruck with him, and we'll get the 50, and we're going to Facebook.
I don't condone that.
Yeah.
All right, we're not taking the 50.
Okay. No.
Stern conversation.
The 50 beers, right? The 50 beers. The 50
No, but I remember when that was a big epidemic on YouTube. If you remember on the YouTube comments where like you'd have just the most Indian of Indian people ripping your profile picture, and they would comment on everything, like all your top comments, and it was just, congratulations, you win, have won free gift.
You've won free gift from
Message
the
me
channel.
on Telegram.
I mean, I've recently gotten into some of the YouTubers that like hack the scammers.
Oh yeah.
They're good.
Do not redeem.
Dude, they've gotten people inside their call centers at the time that they hack them, and then they start they're sending them pictures of their actual person at their desk. It's
That's
pretty
pretty cool.
wild.
That's cool. That's also scary.
I called my friend's son got their account hacked, and they're like, hey, Justin, it's me. And then they messaged me like, hey, dude, his account got hacked. His name was Dre, right? But what I'd done was I called over and over, and they were like, can't talk right now. And then they kept sending me like a link, like, please help me. This, and I called and I called, and I had nothing better to do. And I kept calling. And for like a split second, it was like Nigeria, and it was like a black dude, and he had sunglasses on inside. And then like it just cut off real quick, and I was like, yes, like it's kind of cool, right? To be like, I caught the scammer, dude, sort of, but
Kind of.
nothing came out of it, right?
I mean, you gotta, if you haven't stumbled across these channels, like there's some wild ones. Like one dude was able to, he was using a voice changer like an old woman, and he's obviously a fucking genius, but he was able to convince the dude, you know, the way that he like coached him into this was like, oh, well, let me transfer you like $500,000, like, but let's make sure that this all works and in this like loop. But he was able to pull like 50 grand from their account.
Yo.
And then the dude realizes that he just did that, like, because he was like he was so convincing of like, oh, as soon as we do this test in this kind of circle in which we're transferring and making sure that the bank wires are correct and everything.
So he
and
scammed
then
the scammer?
Boom, yeah, he took
That's pretty
50
dope.
grand from him.
Don't feel good, does it?
Guy loses it. Like this
Yeah, because you probably just
Indian
got him
dude-
executed.
Look,
Gonna lop his head off with a fucking machete.
do we even know if like the Indian government like does anything about this, like, or do they just turn a
Clearly not enough.
no?
Like that's like they have infrastructure for scamming in India.
Oh yeah,
Like it's insane.
It is very, very interesting.
Why is it always, I mean, I'm not going to say it's always Indians because that's blatantly racist, but like, why is it always Indians? You know?
I mean, you could notice a pattern when it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not being like, I'm just being real. Like,
Yeah.
why are they all from,
I really couldn't tell you. I don't know.
even,
I mean, they're like good at tech, you know, but they're not full Asian, so they're not good at medical. So, you know, scamming is kind of the key.
whenever I go,
I saw a statistic. It was like, you know, like how everybody perceives like Indian men on Facebook and on the internet and whatnot. They're just like thirsty.
How though?
Show bobs and vagine, like
Yeah,
just
yeah.
real like
That's what I'm
Like
hearing.
any
Hounds.
website is a dating website if you're Indian enough.
Exactly. Well, and there was one statistic where they're like, with the nearly 2 billion people in India or whatever it is, like only 35% of Indians actually have access to the internet.
Wow.
So your perception of India is only the top 35%.
Oh dear,
Oh yeah.
there's a lot we're missing. But also, too, I think the rule is if there's more of them, you're allowed to be racist.
Because now you're the
Now
minority.
they're the
You're
majority.
minority.
That's actually
Holy
a pretty
crap.
good point.
See, that means I'm allowed to say whatever I want about
It's
Indians and the
brilliant,
Chinese.
It's the power thing, right? They have more power. They have
of
more
them.
manpower.
There's more of them. That's how it works.
Do you know how many half white, half Mexicans there are on this planet? Probably not many, dude. I could say the N-word pretty much.
Pretty
if I
much
wanted to.
anything you want.
I'm kidding.
Do it. In fact, prove it.
No.
On the next podcast, not this one.
Yeah.
You keep that.
You know
little-
what? I'm gonna go on unsubscribe and I'm gonna say the
Keep that
just
with
gonna
your
open up.
pocket
Give
for
it up
now.
for Justin. I'm gonna be like N-word.
I do it. I trust our editors.
Yeah. Touche.
I know, it'll be really funny because, Dave, you just bleep the whole Facebook line and then we make the audience try and guess what I said that made Brandon go, we're not going to do that.
I don't condone that.
Well, the whole point of this podcast is just to get him to say enough words to where we can just make him say whatever he wants later.
I've thought about that before, where I'm like, I have the best excuse whenever not even an excuse, it's a reason. Whenever some like crazy AI, voice change, sentence, whatever the fuck comes out, or it's me saying some heinous shit. It's like there are like 500 hours of me speaking on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
You could do such a good model on my voice. It's not even relevant. It's like you shouldn't even believe that I'm really here right now. This could all be AI video and voice.
You shouldn't even believe that I'm really here right now. This is all AI video. See?
It's a static camera. It's like this would be so easy to fake.
It is fake.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing is real. We're in a simulation, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Wake up.
Yeah.
Joe Biden, wake up.
There's a lot of good simulation theories out there.
Yeah, I'm on my dude. I've like done all these things in life, and I've said it before, but I genuinely sometimes feel like I'm just like on my deathbed, A, or B, like I just can't talk. I'm like severely autistic, and I'm like I was on Naked and Afraid. Like I fought, I did this, I did that, and it was like,
Okay, Grandpa, time to go to bed.
I was on a podcast with JT and Brandon Herrera, and like, sweetie. And I'm like, I'm just walking around like
No,
slurring
more
words.
likely they'll just be like, who the fuck are those people?
Yeah, touche. He's got a bunch of fake accounts. They made
Oh,
it.
that's true.
Yeah, they made it. There's somebody, dude.
I mean, everywhere, but it's kind of like I've had that question, you know, people from my high school back home or military and stuff, when they look at like what we're doing from like our personal Facebook pages, like it obviously seems much grander than it is when you're just looking at it, because it's like, oh shit, like you're with Joe Rogan, you're doing this, like you know, the true reality is like we all kind of live very neutral, boring lives that are hermits. Like
We're in a garage right now.
I work in tech, dude.
Yeah, we're in a garage with the doors cracked because AC's not working.
Yeah, because the AC froze.
there you go.
Yeah, dude.
But also too, as I've, you know, gotten to work in Hollywood, you know, dance around the entire music scene and kind of pull the curtain on and even politics, like fame is pocketed no matter where you look at it. And an example I give is like, arguably the most famous people in the entire globe are professional soccer players, because it is the most global thing when you look at numbers.
Their Instagram following is absurd.
That and one of the most popular like professions on Instagram, DJs. So you could park.
Really?
It's absurd.
I would not have called that.
Well, think about the festivals and everything, like how many people are there, and then they instantly go follow their favorite DJ. Like,
Well, I imagine they wouldn't remember
adds,
most of the festival.
Yeah, I know. But you could park your top 15 DJs and your top 15 soccer players in Sauced right now, and the three of us could walk in there and order drinks and a dinner for the entire evening and have no clue that those people were there. Why? Because we're just not in those circles. So like, it all comes in like the sphere that you're in. So if you're a gun guy, well, you're fucking right at the
Dude,
top.
you know who he is? He's
Yeah, that's the greatest gun guy there is ever.
But it's a very niche. Like we can always tell, like, oh, we're about to be approached. Like when somebody walks into a restaurant, where you could tell the type. It's he's wearing a black rifle shirt. He's got the Molon Labe tattoo. It's like, oh, that's probably someone who
And it
consumes
turns
my
out to
content.
be the sec def.
Yeah. There you go. But then you've got, grandma. It's like, okay, well, I obviously she has no idea who the hell I am. Just most people have no idea who the fuck we are. I actually prefer that.
Have you ever been surprised, like where grandma really does know who you are?
Yes.
Yes.
Tell us a story.
It's happened a lot. Like I've had people that I would have just never pegged.
Whoa,
I had a
Jesus.
75-year-old woman show up to something that we were at that had a whole case of phase 1 lead slinger, full bottles. Like, and this was 6 years after we had launched them. And she wanted to get them all signed for all of her kids. And we were just like, what? That's wild.
Yeah. No. You sent me a throwback.
How do you know who we are? She goes, oh, I listen to Drinking Bros. I'm like,
Nice.
whoa.
Oh my God.
Why?
I'm
think-
addicted to drugs.
And I feel like that's a horrible. Anytime somebody goes, oh, I love Time for Pie, my immediate response is why.
I used to get when I did Drinking Bros back in the day, I was discussing Justin because I'd say all this vile shit, right? And dude, like one time I was out on a date and I was walking and then someone's like, oh my, disgusting Justin. And my date was like, what? And I was like, it's a podcast, like podcast. And I was like, can I get a picture with you all, dude? And he's like looking at my date like, so you're gonna f her? You're gonna I'm like, dude, get away.
You're gonna tell her. You're gonna tell her that you love her.
Yeah, you're gonna tell her you love her.
Oh God.
Like, yeah, yes, duh, right? But
Who
like,
was that? Oh, some guy from church.
yeah.
Oh God.
And then the other one was, dude, I've been noticed for Naked and Afraid like 3 times, right? Freaking Discovery Channel TV like 3 times. Like, oh my God. One time was at Passport Control. And then,
I recognize that dick.
yeah. No, it was the guy who was like, oh my God, I'm watching you on Castaways. And it was like the one where I got eliminated because I got parasites. And he's like, don't tell me what happens tonight. And I was about to be like, I'm gonna die, And then the other one was, Kill Tony was the only one that for like 2 weeks, like cars would like be driving. I'd be walking down in San Antonio and a car would literally pull over on the side of the road and be like, dude, I just saw you on Kill Tony. That was
I don't want that level of fame ever.
I mean, but there was it's a 2 week
Yeah.
thing, right? And then no one knows who the fuck I I am, dude.
It's the I can't walk down the street thing. It's like, all right, that's
It would be interesting to do it for like a day or two. But can you imagine being like Marky Mark walking down the street?
Well,
So
that was
we-
like Justin Bieber just had that video where like some chick found his actual personal address and just sat at his front door, and like he like had
You're married
this
now, though.
conversation with her. He was like, she's like, can I get a hug? Can I get a picture? He's like, no, you were at my front door. Well, I'll tell you, there is one thing I'm going to bring into 2025 with me, and that is Mando whole body deodorant. I have incorporated this in my day-to-day life because honestly, it smells great and it feels great. And supposedly it doesn't contain all those nasty things that all the other stuff at the grocery store has. And I like that. And my favorite product from Mando has been the Mount Fuji deodorant stick. I absolutely adore this smell. And because of its size, I pack it everywhere when I'm traveling. I love this stuff.
Put this on your pits, your thighs, around your belly button, your butt, your feet, and your private parts. And you know how handy that is to just have a stick of this? You're out somewhere, maybe you're on a date, maybe you got a little sweaty on your date, you need to freshen up. Wipe it off and give it a few dabs of this, or use the Mando deodorant wipes and just give yourself a little bath.
And as a special offer for listeners, get $5 off your starter pack using the code PIE. That is almost 40% off your starter pack when you use the code PIE. And that is at shopmando.com. SHOPMANDO.com. Like,
Justin
how do you
Bieber?
not think that this is inappropriate?
Justin Bieber,
shit.
didn't he marry his wife? Didn't she kind of stalk him for a couple years?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
it's a trick that only works once.
Yeah, touche, right?
Yeah, well, he probably knew he had a weakness for it. That he was like, you gotta go.
You just got to stalk us. It's the only way,
now,
dude.
now I'm questioning my marriage because I got a new one right here.
I hate it. Yeah, I hate it when they like play hard again. They like change their locks on their doors and stuff. You know?
Extra security.
Restraining
We're playing
orders
now.
like- yeah.
Well, I mean, you hang out with I hate to call them like real celebrities, but you hang out with like the guys who are in the big leagues, and like you
But
actually
they
just
are.
feel
They are. Like
the Post Malones, like those
Yes.
kind of guys, and like you see the shit that they have to deal with to
Constantly.
just be in a public place, like the police escorts and just all the logistics that go behind just going about your day-to-day fucking life.
But-
and it's like I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I don't know how they deal with it.
Even the exhaust. I mean, it's even outside of that. To me, it seems exhausting to have like that entourage.
Oh, yeah.
Because again, like I have seen like the reality of this, where it's like, you know, some people were around in the beginning of that, and now they just have stayed, and he's been looped into paying salaries for people that do fuck all but travel around and party on his dime. It's like,
Yeah.
Who's the guy from Lord of the Rings? The famous guy Orlando
Bloom.
Is it Orlando Bloom?
I don't know.
I saw him. So same thing you're talking about, right? I don't watch any movies at all. I saw him in San Antonio at a restaurant, but he was all the way in the corner, and everybody was like, oh, like whispering, and he knew that everybody was watching him, and he just like had his head down the whole time, and he was just trying to eat as fast as he could, and he would look up occasionally, and then he walked out, and he started getting stop, right?
What a
So-
miserable fucking existence.
So you know what I'm saying? But he was like, you could tell, like when I was like, oh, that is him, like, cool. And my first thought was like, man, I don't want to harass that dude. And my friend walked up, took a photo with him, of course, right? But he was like, that is literally my favorite movie. Cool. But then on his way out, people just, hey, and you could tell he was being cool about it, but I could tell now how people get annoyed, right? Can you imagine just getting stopped every minute of the day? You go to the gas station, like, hey, what's up? You're just like,
I've had like happenstance run-ins with like big celebrities like that before, or like people like some of the cast from Yellowstone and like big shit where like people would stop them
It's
everywhere.
popular now, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
And I've never said anything related to their career. Just kind of one of those. Oh, like like at one point I was sitting next to someone at like a brunch bar or whatever, like somebody that was big in one of those things. Didn't say word once. Just like, oh hey bro, what's up? And then just let them be a normal fucking person, because I'm like, I know how. Especially like if I'm hungover and I just did a premiere the night before or whatever, I'm like, the last thing I want to do is sit next to somebody and have a captive half-hour conversation.
I feel like also if I'm talking to someone who's considered a celebrity, if I steer the conversation towards their career, I'm not going to get a genuine conversation either,
Bingo.
because I've just been put into the category of this is a fan, gonna treat them like a fan. But if you just treat them like a person, you have a way better chance of getting an authentic interaction with that person.
Yeah.
In the early years of like Drinking Bros, when we first started getting introduced to celebrities, like I researched like what they were into, like what, you know, do they play golf or do they fly a flight sim? Do they do this? And if I like caught up on something in that'll fucking flip them on instantly.
And they'll be genuine versus what's going on? What movie do you have?
I mean, it's the same thing. Like I had to go to a wedding a couple years back that I didn't know anybody to. I was someone's date. So I'm at this wedding, and as soon as the like reception starts, like somebody comes over and starts talking to me about coffee shops, and then now there's 18 people that are all real estate investors and things. Now I'm stuck at this wedding where I just want to drink, and I'm having to have franchise conversations, like with a group of people I know nobody.
Yeah.
Like I just want to drink and be with my date and like actually like fuck off. I mean, you know, I want to joke around. I don't want to sit here and go, well, I can get you in the queue for the franchise.
You've just turned the social interaction into
Like
100%.
You know how many times I get, how have you been, bro? Good. We start talking, we start copying. Hey, by the way, you still tight with the Black Rifle crew? And I'm like, honestly, I don't really talk to them anymore. And they're like, oh man, I wanted to pitch something. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, I had somebody hit me up again. Somebody that I never really was like super close to, didn't, you know, they just knew me. And it was like, hey, I need your help. I want you to help me get a script to Pastrana. And I'm like, bro, I've been friends with this guy for 10 years and I haven't given him a script.
What the fuck is he going to do with the script anyways?
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, what makes you think
I can't
like,
backflip a script, you idiot?
Favor like that I might one day ask is going to be for you. Like
Guest appearance.
Hey, Ari.
Oh, the dog is in the house. The dog is in the house.
Hey, Arya.
She knows that I'm a dog whisperer, dude.
Yeah.
She smells clean.
Heather and Arya have blessed us with their visit right now. For those of you that are in the car right now.
Are you chewing on it?
No,
What
we
the
don't
fuck?
want a scorpion.
You caught a scorpion? Instead of killing a scorpion?
No.
Oh, what are you going to do with said scorpion?
If you're going to crash the podcast, at least talking to Jared's mic.
I don't know. I thought there's Jack Mandeville too. Wow, this turned into a shit show. Sorry, I just trying to get my dog back. I caught a scorpion because I thought it looked cool. So
Jesus, Heather. At least,
Yeah,
come on,
okay,
get in the camera
I'm
too.
fucking off.
Put a shirt on,
Which
Heather.
camera?
Heather, put a shirt on. Get dressed, Heather. Why'd you walk in here without any clothes on? Nice. She came in, she was wearing nothing but a
That's
strap
weird.
on.
Is she
All she had on
training
was a
for
strap
Naked
on.
and Afraid?
Yeah. That's so weird.
She came to the expert.
Yeah.
Catching a scorpion.
Oh,
Is she
bro.
going to throw it at someone?
I have no idea.
Dude,
it's terrifying. Whatever goes down here, there's crazy.
Dude, I had so the jiu-jitsu gym that I train at, their parking lot is just like dirt, right? And so I was wearing my gi pants and I walked through brush and I got in my car. And so I'm almost home and I got pulled over by a cop he's like, hey, you waited too long to put on your blinker. He lets me go, whatever. Hey man, be careful and all this stuff.
That is a bizarre thing to pull someone over for. You
wait too long to put on your blinker, right? Because apparently I started going and then I put on my blinker like as I was, whatever, dude. I think he was just trying to like.
We all
give a
know that's
reason.
just an excuse for profiling, right?
Yeah, he's like, oh, Hispanic tatted male, right?
Well,
So-
he's going to pull over every fucking car in San Antonio.
Yeah. So my adrenaline's going a little bit, right? Because like, oh, I just got pulled over. We're good to go. All right. And I tell him there's a pistol under my vehicle, you know, and all this. He's like, all right, you're good, man. Lets me go. So I start driving. I get like, as my adrenaline's still spiked, I start driving. Oh, there's a scorpion.
Oh, she just gave me a fucking scorpion. Oh,
And dude, I'm driving.
Buddy.
Dude, I look down and I'm like, oh God, dude, there's a huge scorpion. Because again, I figured it out. I train at this jiu-jitsu gym and you have to walk through brush to get in your car. While I was wearing my gi pants,
And so it
I
just
must have kicked a scorpion and it crawled all the way up me. And so I'm almost home and I just got pulled over and I look down and there's this huge scorpion and it's on my shirt. And my first thought was, don't freak out. hey, wouldn't it be cool if you got your phone and recorded this? You'd look like a total badass. And I take my camera out and I record for like a quarter of a second and I just go, no. And I just pull over and I just jump out of my car like if I'm on fire and I'm like, ah! There's all these people like just looking at me, right? And then I just get in my car and I drive back. Like, can you imagine being like a bystander and you just see a car pull over like, ah!
Some dude, like,
And dude, I fell down on the ground and everything. I wasn't just like, get off of me. I was like falling like all dramatic, right? It's just a scorpion, right? Like there's one right there.
Literally, I just got handed a
Wait,
scorpion.
were you doing all this while wearing a gi?
I was wearing gi pants.
Okay, so you're just jiu-jitsuing solo.
Yeah, I was wearing a full gi. No. It's
You're
not
free,
even, that
buddy.
thing's not live.
Oh, it's alive. It's 100% alive. It's getting pissed now.
Feels like he was warm in there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look at those claws are up.
Yeah, he's coming out.
Yep.
Pretty cool, dude.
I had that happen on. I mean, I saw like
Oh, yeah,
it
he's
happened
moving.
on 355 or 3351. I don't know why I always say 33. I don't know this highway, Route Fair. I'm driving up there on a Sunday morning, probably about 10 a.m. and some chick is just on the side, like 15 feet from her car, like wobbling, like with her hands on her knees, and I'm like, oh shit! So I pull in and like skid to a stop. And I'm like, are you okay? Like, as I'm getting out of the car, and then I notice she's throwing up. She was like, I'm fine. I'm just a real piece of shit.
Oh, nice.
Oh my God.
Which I assumed she was hungover.
Hungover,
So
yeah.
I was like, all right. I was
You should
just
have been like,
making
yeah, you are.
I was like, I'm just making sure you weren't having a heart attack or nothing. keep partying.
Fair enough.
I just love that response.
Dude, imagine just
was
saying that
good.
to like anything that happens. Right? Like you have a broken arm, like, sir, are you okay? Be like, no, I'm just a piece of shit.
just a
like,
piece of shit.
That is such a relatable response.
Yeah,
though.
you're like, and you almost like that enticed me to like stay. Like I wanted to be like, oh, you're cool.
What are you doing?
Here's some water. Yeah.
Like, yeah, you want some Excedrin? Oh, trust me, I got the remedy in my car.
Do you need more or less alcohol?
Oh my. Well, I just got a 50 cal.
Did you? Oh, yeah, that's right. You were telling me about that.
H&M Defense 50 cal. I saw it at SHOT Show and then spoke to them afterwards. Ohio based, made in America. That thing it's heavy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Did you ever have to hump one?
Yeah. A couple times.
Like
They
in
gave you a
combat or in
Barrett?
training?
I carried him a couple times in Iraq, right? But like the one time that we could have engaged, we just didn't use it,
Yeah.
right? Like we should have, maybe.
Well, like, were you in-field vehicle and then got your hide? Like,
No.
'cause,
You
dude,
hump it. You hump it. It's heavy.
I'm holding that thing. I'm like,
It's heavy,
dude,
bro.
I can't imagine having to do like a 12K.
I have
Did
a-
you get the 82 or the 107?
the 107, the
Okay,
XM
that's-
107. I can't believe I remember all this shit.
That's
bro.
at least better than, that's like what, 5 pounds lighter? Something like that.
Fuck, I don't even remember 30 something pounds. Man, I wish it's funny, man. I don't really touch guns as much anymore, right? But I think I had an M48-3 and then I had a Mark 11 and then we had what was it called? Like a DARPA. It was like a DARPA rifle. It was like in beta testing or whatever, and they gave us one. And then we had the Barrett. And the one time we could have used it, we didn't use it because it was just like personnel, right? I did see one time.
Well, personnel have a lot of equipment on them.
Yeah,
They sure do.
Yeah,
they do.
I did see one time. It was a terrible incident, but like someone was changing a tire and they thought he was putting a bomb in, and they hit him right here with a 50.
Yeah.
and everything was intact. His whole body was intact, and then right about up here, everything was just foiled out,
Yeah.
kind of. And then I learned in sniper school, they said what it does ballistically is when it explodes because it has the roughest round. Right?
Oh, you hit him. Well, not
we
you
didn't.
hit him, but
Like someone else did.
yeah,
but
Mark
we-
211, Ralphus.
Yeah, it was the roughest round, and so it hit him. Look, it hit him back here, and it came out like this area. So this was like foiled outward. You know what I mean? And then
That's
in sniper
gnarly.
school, what I found out is when it hits, it doesn't just explode. It explodes in like a cone shape. You know what I mean?
shit.
Because of the momentum.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. They're like, and I learned that in sniper school. I was like, oh, they're like, who hears ever? And again, I didn't hit the guy. Someone else did. But still, I just remember thinking in my head, like, that's so crazy. Like his whole chest is intact and he just got hit back there.
Because just using standard 50 cal, people don't realize that it just doesn't do a lot to the human body. Like, don't get me wrong, it'll fuck you up,
Yeah.
it'll kill you. But
You-
like everybody expects, like, oh, if it just grazes you, it'll
your
blow
whole
your
arm.
fucking arm off.
You know
It's
what
like,
they
it's
used to say that in the military too? Like it's so powerful. If it just goes by you, it rips your arm. And
Yeah,
like,
that was
no,
like
it
the
doesn't.
lore. Is like if it passes within 3 feet of you,
No,
it's taking
no, no,
skin.
no.
It's like if you know anything about math or physics, like that is completely
Yeah,
impossible.
it makes no sense. But Marines are dumb. You know?
I can confirm though
Yeah.
that GAU 8 round, like DU, depleted uranium.
Was that like 30 mil?
Yes. When it hits a tank and it goes through the
Monroe effect or whatever.
the compartment, it will suck everything inside out.
That's
the
real?
other side. That is 100% real.
I've heard that, right? Obviously in training and stuff.
But you're talking a much more velocity and a much larger.
Well, you're
Well,
also
that's-
talking about like an enclosed space with pressure changing.
Suction, yeah.
Just like that chunk of metal flying past you.
That's what a tow
There's no
missile.
atmosphere to like really change pressure.
That's what a tow missile does, allegedly, right? Is it uses the Monroe effect. It hits, and the javelin too. It hits, and then a small piece of what is it, copper or something goes through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the
Liquefied
insurgents,
copper.
the insurgents started using that when we were overseas.
EFPs.
Yes, and it's kind of you got to give it to them. You know, like got to give them the credit where it's due. You're like, how did it?
I mean, it was
The
super
Iranians
effective
taught
for
him,
fucking
the
cheap as
Iranians
hell.
taught him that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so what are the ballistics of a 50? I've never talked about this. I'd love to hear them. Like, how does a 50 fly?
I mean, I know whenever you so again, as an observer, like sniper observer, it's actually not technically a sniper rifle, right?
It's
What it-
anti-material.
yes, but I'm saying because to the standard, it has to be in a 1 minute of angle accuracy, right? And for those that don't know, it's essentially you have to put 3 rounds in a 1 inch circle at 100 yards. At 200 yards, it's 3 inches in a 2 inch circle, and then it goes further like a cone. And once it gets to 10, it gets 3 rounds in a 10 inch circle, right? So the reason why a sniper rifle was not, the Sasser, which is the sweet ass sniper rifle, is what people say in the military, but it's not considered a sniper rifle because I believe, and I might be incorrect, again, it's been a long time, but I think it's like a 3 minute of angle accuracy weapon.
The Barrett?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's not even necessarily a fault of the Barrett, but the design, it's a reciprocating barrel because it's
Yes.
short recoil, so like,
Yes.
that's gonna fuck your accuracy a little bit. But also like the round itself, people don't take enough
It's dumb and fat.
put enough fat
That's what I was
or
gonna
enough
say.
thought into it. But yeah, but it's also half an MOA.
It is half an MOA,
Yeah, it's 50 cal, so it's 1 inch, like half of 1 inch.
but the rifle
Anyway.
itself is a 3 minute, or am I incorrect?
Yeah,
on
no,
that?
you're roughly correct on that.
yeah, but it's
I-
like just the round
the round.
itself is half a minute.
So
you're
to
already
your
half
point,
a minute, like right out
So
the
to
gate.
your point though too, is like if you have a smaller round, I still wear this. I don't know why, I've been out forever, right? But like 7.62.
You still do.
What's up?
You still do.
7.62 by 51, still wear it. I don't know why. I just do, whatever. And but like even that round, whenever you calculate at 1,000, it's so hard to freaking hit at 1,000 because of windage. The thing with a 50, yeah, it's less accurate, but you don't have to calculate for dude. You just see it 1,000 down range.
It's so
you just
fucking
send
heavy.
it. You just send it, bro, and
Yeah.
you're gonna hit a vehicle for sure, right?
Then it's moving fast. It's 3,000 feet per second, and it's 700 grains typically, 660 for like ball.
Huge, dude. And so you asked about the ballistics of it. I don't know. It's been a minute, but I do know like when you're shooting 7.62, they train you, right, to legitimately, I thought it was some shit you see in a movie, right? Like when I got a sniper school or when I got a sniper platoon, they're like, you're going to watch the round exit the firearm, or I'm sorry, the gun, and you're gonna watch it hit the target. And I remember being like, what? And then you're like, oh, you see it, and you're like, holy shit, but it takes a while to see it. And it's literally like the Matrix, right? Like,
You
and so
see the trails.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
the
what you
vapor
do
trail.
is you don't look for like before I started doing any type of training like that, I thought a round just went straight and lost velocity. No, it literally, when you calculate for windage and for elevation, it literally goes up in the air and you'll see it curve with the wind. You'll even see like at different yard lines, like you'll see the wind and you calculate, you're like, wind is going this way, that way in the valley, and you'll see the round go like this, like that, and then hit the target, right? Pretty dope. But the 50 cal does the same thing, which is wild, right? And it's just a bigger round. And so,
Oh yeah, I went
Yeah.
through the 7th Special Forces Group's course, which was like a long range M4 course. So
dope.
it was wild because we were doing 800 to 900 yard shots with a 10-inch M4.
Oh, Christ.
Like you're talking like I'm aiming with an L can, like up and to the right, like like this much. Like I don't even have the target in sight, but the bullet will fucking curve. And,
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
Take the target down.
That's wild.
And
It's indirect fire almost at that point.
Are those repeatable shots with an M4 though?
If you just have to calculate, like the whole course was really, it's a week-long course and it's designed to teach you exactly what an LCAN and an ACOG was designed for, by the way, which again,
Nobody really knows.
I carried an ACOG my whole career, and not until 2010, 11 did I learn what the reticles meant and everything. No one ever told me that like the tree is a person at different yardage. So your crosshair is at 100. The other one is at 2, and then 300. So when you line that tree up, the lower one, and it meets the width of a person, that person's 300 yards. You can use.
See, I didn't even know that. I just knew that it was 1, 2, and 3, but I didn't know it was the width.
So
the
that's
horizontal.
You're milling it out.
Yeah,
you're milling it out. That's true.
I got a funny story about that.
Oh, dude,
I have a buddy who designed a reticle for I'll just say a company who really didn't want to be associated with the military aspect. They were really big on like civilian sports, shooting, hunting, stuff like that. They didn't really want like the idea, because firearm stuff was not their number one gig. So they just didn't want to be associated with anything that was like a people killer. But my buddy was designing a reticle for them. And he was trying to get those increments worked into the reticle, and they were like, "Dude, we really don't want anything that's like meant for like, shoulder width of a person." They're like, "That's way too hardcore for us." So he's like, "Okay, no worries." And then he came back with increments of an IPSC target.
Yeah.
Which is designed around a shoulder length. He's like, no, this is a very common for like 3-gun sports shooting, whatever. They're like, oh, okay.
Dude, just give
so
the
they
gun.
approved that.
Yeah.
Just give the gun pronouns, dude.
I mean,
You're
that
all
was
good, bro.
literally like the first day they teach you all of this, and then you go out, and part of the first exercise was just ranging your targets. And all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, 300, 100, 200, 1,000. Like you're like, oh,
Pretty dope.
yeah,
Pretty
this
dope.
is awesome.
Yep.
And then again, like they gave us this cheat card that was like, your hold patterns of like, hey, if you have a half value win, full value win, whatever, you're gonna hold three units right. So you just use that unit.
What are the units? Are they mils? Do you know? Or they're minutes? Or you don't know?
We're going in minutes.
Okay.
But they gave us that dope card that essentially has like a holds diagram to the wind.
Pretty dope.
And so essentially it's like, oh, okay, we have a 5-knot wind and we're shooting 700 yards right now. It's going to be a 3 holds to the right. So now your gun is over here, and then we're like, all right, the BDC, the bullet drop compensator. So now you're angling up.
Yeah.
Like, and that's
You're just
another
holding,
thing.
yeah.
Those steps down
Yeah.
in the ACOG are for the bullet drop compensation
Yeah.
for a 5.56. So like, dude, that class was like one of the most valuable shooting courses that I've ever taken, and wish I would have taken that like when I was in E3.
I took a State Department sniper school when I got out. I went to, it was called Storm Mountain Training Center because I was a contractor for 2 years. And I worked with an Army sniper, and we used an M24, and that was their whole method. And I can't speak for Army snipers because I was not one, right? I was a Marine sniper. But my partner was in the Army, and all we did was holds, right? We didn't waste time with the dopes for readjustments. And you should do that. You should use holds regardless. But he was using them for range cards, right? And we would just, for the known distance, we didn't ever
Mess with your zero at all.
And what's a trip in sniper school, you have known and unknown distance. You can use holds, but if you're gonna be at a known yard line, you're going to. And he was just like, no, like don't waste time.
We're gonna
right.
hold.
And I was like, okay, cool. So it was all holds, the adjustments, and so it was cool, man. Now I'm like a dinosaur, right?
Do you guys have rangefinders or any equipment like that?
We had them in the for sure in the Marine Corps, but when you go to sniper school, you have to use what is the name of the fucking? So the formula is, man, it's been a long time. I believe it's size of target in inches divided by 36 times 1,000 over how many mils, because the scope is in mils, you see. So if it's like 1.4 or something, equals your range in yards. So it's size of target in inches divided by 36 times 1,000. And what you're doing right there is you're converting it from from yards to meters. From meters to yards. Size of target in inches divided by 36 times 1,000 over, and so you would get a constant right there, over size of target in mils. And so you have mils on the scope. I also came in at a very interesting time because we used to have minutes, and I actually went to the last sniper school class ever that was 8541, and I failed the last day. And then I went to the first 0317 course and I passed. So it's just like, it's interesting because I got to see both, and there was some small changes, right? But one of the big changes was that they used to, in the 8541 days, they used to use inertial scopes, and it had minutes. And so it was funny because I learned in the platoon minutes. And then I got to sniper school, and they're like, forget everything. Mills. And then I went back to mountain sniper after sniper school, and then I went back to minutes. And we were in this, because the Marine Corps doesn't have money. So like half of our scopes had mils and half had minutes. It was interesting. It was a trip. And we're the scout snipers of America for the Marine Corps, right? And so I got to learn both, but it was so fucking interesting. And now again, I'm like a dinosaur. I went to the base.
You have to
like,
keep up with it, man.
Dude, I went, they showed me the scope. I don't even know what it means. Like if I were to go to the battlefield, they'd be like, here. I'd be like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I was obsessed with it after that course and really dove into it. And it was so fun because again, like, dude, you're doing basic math and you're sending your first round and nailing something at a huge distance. And you're like, what the fuck? But again, if you don't keep up with it, you forget everything.
Yeah.
And you're like,
man, I still remember my
dumb.
dopes. I think we used to run and they would do dumb shit like push left, pull right, push left, because people kept messing up. Is it push or is it pull? So we'd go like, all right, we're gonna go on a 7-mile run, and the whole run, push left, pull right, push left, pull right, and then like an Indian run, and people would just say it down the line for like 7 miles. And then because somebody messed up, and so after that, you're like, I still remember that till this day. So yeah, push left, pull right, 0.3, 1.3, 2.2, 3.2, 4.4, 5.7, 7.2, 8.8, 10.8.
Bro,
Still remember that.
He just pied the shit out of us.
I cream pied myself.
Oh God.
There's the
That's
Marine
impressive.
coming out.
Yeah, Semper Fi.
is.
Semper Fi cream pie. Let's go,
baby. That was always the joys of kind of the golden days of San Antonio Black Rifle, walking in to the office and just hearing his voice echoing. And then
Yeah.
Bro, I was wild, dude. I mean, I'm still wild, but like,
I put her on the counter.
Feels like you've calmed down a lot.
yeah, I've come to, I've been,
Especially when like everyone worked in the exact same big room.
Oh, I
And at the
know.
end of the day, no one's gotten any work done except
Dude.
for Justin.
One time I asked Dan, Dan was the VP of marketing at some point, right? And I remember I was asking a question about my job. I didn't really know what I was doing yet. And I was like, oh, this and that. And he's like typing on the computer. And we all know Dan Holloway talks like this, right, all the time. But he was just like, I was like, hey, I got a question on this and that. And he just looks at me and he snaps his finger. And he's like, I hired you to make me laugh. I don't give a shit. Make me laugh, bitch. And then he just kept typing. And I go, okay. And then he kept typing. He was like, no, I'm just kidding. What? And I was like, that was so cool, dude. Right.
Meanwhile, in corporate America, somebody be having an aneurysm.
Yeah. And then it did hit the point where like, it was still like, because it grew, right? And as the company grows, like you can't say things all the time. It's still the same company, still the same foundation, still the same values, but like, you're going to get a lot more people, and some people might get upset over other things. So I remember I got
Get some
pulled in.
lawsuits about.
Yeah. So lawsuits is the most important one. So I got called into an office, and they were like, "Hey, Justin, your jokes have come to my attention on multiple occasions." And I go, "Fuck!"
You know what's horrible is you are pseudo doing an impression of the person that was talking to you.
You already know who it is.
I
yeah.
know exactly who it is by just hearing
So
your
they go, your jokes have come to my attention on multiple occasions, and I go, "Fuck!" And I go,
I mean,
and then
that
she
sounds
looks
more
art
like
of
an
the
HR
double
problem, not
Yeah,
a Justin problem,
I know.
because they're
And
just
then-
hiring nerds.
And then she looks at me, and then she was just like, "I'm being serious," and I was like, "My bad." And then my current employer, I'm not going to say who it is, right? But I've been in trouble twice already for just being myself. So I'm like, so I've figured it out. It's like, if you want to make money sometimes, until you get your own shit going, you got to bite the bullet and not do jokes is what I'm getting at.
Even then, sometimes it don't work out.
Yeah. They'll see how funny it is when I actually do it. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry. There he is. He's back, baby. Disgusting Justin in the house. Whoa! No. Those were the days, man. I'm trying to be normal, dude. I just bought a second house, bro. Like, trying to be normal now.
You're trying to be normal and have 1 million dogs.
Yeah, dude.
That's what you're going to do.
I have 4 dogs right now.
How often are you doing stand-up?
Fuck, every night, dude.
Every night.
You're doing stand-up every night?
Yeah. I mean, tonight,
Where?
Sunday is like the one day that I don't. Monday, I'll drive up to Kill Tony. I'll sign up. Tuesday, I'll do the Laugh Out Loud here in San Antonio. Wednesday, I do Upstage. Thursday, I do Tandem. Friday, I do the Station. Or I'm booked. And then Saturday, typically booked. And then Sunday is like my one day where I got to handle my life, right? And you should be doing, like, if you're a comic, you should be hitting fucking multiple mics 7 days a week. But those are the big ones here in San Antonio. But it's fun, bro. It's fun. You just
but you haven't turned into that salty comic yet that goes, do you know how long I've been doing this?
Fuck that, brother.
Because you know how it was when you
Fuck
first
that.
started. All those guys just were getting
And I used to listen, dude.
Some of those, some of the people in comedy, like don't get me wrong, we got a lot of friends in comedy that like are just awesome.
Yeah.
But like some of those people are just so salty. It's like, I haven't made it yet, therefore you can't. This is miserable. It's all a racket. They're some of the most negative motherfuckers I've ever met.
It's a cool kids club. It's like, no, talent rises.
Yeah, apparently you're not a cool kid.
Yeah.
Dude, Mariani one time, bro, she's crushing. She's on tour right now.
Oh yeah,
she's
I just
crushing,
saw her
right?
tour. Her tour.
She's everywhere, dude. And what's a trip is one time I was asking her. Sometimes I'll bounce like bits off of her, right? Or hey, what do you think of this? And she's so good at writing, right? And what's interesting is I come to find out she's past me. She's past a lot of people she's been working with, dude. I come to find out she's been doing comedy like a year less than me, a year. And I was like, what? And she even said, I don't think time matters. Yeah. And you're like, well, shit. You can talk all this shit. And even now there's comics, like, I think talking shit is an insecurity thing, right?
Yeah,
100%. Right? And so bro, if you pass me and you just started comedy, fuck yeah, bro.
Dude, well, here's the thing. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, the stand-up world frowned upon making funny videos for the internet or doing podcasts. Oh, that's just cheating. Like what?
That's crazy,
it's
dude.
called winning.
It's networking.
Getting
It's
fucking
in front of-
eyeballs.
yes, in front of eyeballs.
My friend Vanessa Gonzalez, right? She was on tour with Chelsea Handler, right? She started comedy in like 2004 or something. She was my best friend in high school. She got class clown. I was supposed to get class clown, but then I got suspended. They took it away. So stupid. Anyway, I'm still bitter.
That's
anyway,
weird you remember that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
they give
not
it
bitter at
Jonathan
all.
Swisher, that fucking pussy. But anyway, wonder where he's at today. Anyway,
Whatever. I didn't get anything in high school.
What's that?
I didn't get shit in high
Yeah,
school.
don't go to high
You didn't
school. Don't show up
graduate
to
with us.
school,
You
man.
left early.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Yeah,
dude,
I hardly got a diploma.
She's killing it, dude. She went on tour with Chelsea Handler all over the world, like world tour, sells out shows. I'll call her like once a year and we'll talk, right? And what she said one time was, dude, there's all these, because she made it. This is what she does full time for a living. And she's like, all these old school comics will shit talk these newer comics and say shit like, all he does is funny videos. And she goes, but as much as I want to get upset over that, she was like, they're packing shows, they're selling rooms out, and they're making people laugh. So you know what? It's a shortcut. Old school comics they'll frown upon it, but those same old school comics, some of them have 7,000 followers.
Yeah, but
right.
But
So it's
at
like
the end of the day, like I can never get on board with that range of thinking. If,
have to
if
adapt,
you're a
dude.
comic, you're a comedy writer, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so then you should be able to write comedy for script.
Yes,
Like,
100%.
and why
Yeah.
wouldn't you want to?
Yeah.
Why would you not go, hey, if I'm not on stage, I'm scripting out left and right. I mean, look at how much ground Laser has covered
Bro,
in 2
and he's been doing it
years.
less than
2
a lot of
years.
us. Yeah.
Dude, I stumbled across him on an Instagram video talking about his boots, and that was his second month doing comedy. And now here is where he's at today.
And all
like
the
the
people that would
people-
talk shit initially, he adapted. He's adapted. He's funny as and he's crushing, dude.
It's like the people that that make movies, but they're just like, oh, you made a movie that was popular. I prefer art house flicks. It's like, you can do that. Just don't talk shit about the people who actually want to like get big and make money. Like fucking Fat Electrician, for example. He's been doing this less than any of us. Or like he's brand new on the side.
But he's talented, dude.
He's
Talent
super
rises.
talented. We all told him like a year ago, we're like, oh, you're gonna pass us. For sure. Like he has whatever it is. He's got it. And I'm proud of him. Like that's fucking great. I'm like, this,
Nah, bro, you should
I
hate
want
on
you
him
to
and
succeed.
ruin your friendship, dude. You should talk a bunch of shit on him and start beef.
Fuck Nick.
And you should build his brand and like start beef with him and then like, tank your own brand.
No, but legitimately, like obviously we're his boys, but like we're super proud of our friend for doing that good. That
yeah,
quick.
man.
That's
But
how
also,
we should all be.
There's nothing.
Like he has an infectious personality. Like you want to just listen to him talk. Should he be punished because he doesn't have like the time and grade or whatever?
I think most comedians are not most. I'd probably say a niche amount of comedians are allergic to meritocracy. It's not a time game. I don't care how much time you spend in it. I care how funny you are.
It's a merit thing, and I mean also too. There's a thing like it's. I guess it comes with being a JTAC. Like maybe this is part of why my personality is the way it is. That I don't care that I'm a B character. I got a seat at the table. That's cool. Hey, I'm not an SF guy. I'm not a ranger. I'm not this. I was a JTAC. I was there to control airstrikes. So I'm what's called an enabler. I thought that was rad. I'm not over there like going, oh, well, why isn't it my show? It's like,
dude,
I knew, dude, Matt is the guy. Like,
dude,
he had it. Like, and I just helped facilitate it and I got to be there too. So why isn't that cool?
I think that in general holds a lot of people back is because their best qualities is not main character.
Yeah.
But everybody thinks that they have to be main character to be considered successful, even in their own eyes. And you're sabotaging yourself.
There's a lot of like entrepreneur books and things like that I read back in the day that, really harped on this point. It's like, would you rather be number one on a show that nobody watches or number two on a bestseller?
Exactly.
Fuck yes.
Yeah. It's easier too. It's easier to be the number two guy.
Would you rather have 2% of a fucking $10 billion company or 90% of a $100,000 company?
100%.
Yeah, that's
seriously. And a lot of people don't think about that.
No, I mean, but also too, like at the end of the day, like this entire movement over the last like, dude, we are on this wave of something that started in 2012. And we have been at the forefront of post-war, like a whole movement of people creating businesses and entertainment that had never been seen before. Like even then, I say like there is nobody. I'm kind of sad because I would love to see it. And when I do find people, I scout it as fast as I can, which is what I did with the Sunray guys from the United Kingdom. Like, these were all veterans that made a movie. The second I watched it and found out they were veterans, I fucking got them here. And I did everything I could to put them on every podcast I could and promote their film. And because, dude, where is the 2025 Matt? Like the guy that just wants to make funny videos that came from the military. Like where are these guys trying to copy what we did 10 years ago?
Do you ever feel that? Because I look at that in the gun industry sometimes. I try to always see like, who are the up and comers?
Yeah.
Like what? Who's
who
the next
can we
guy?
help now? Because it's like, dude, when I found Dylan, like,
Dylan's awesome.
He was still new, but the concept, like to me, this was a hyper creative guy with an original shtick. Like his what Uncle Dijon does on Instagram,
Nobody
no
else
one else
does.
ever does, and it was funny and it was creative and it was awesome and it was like, come here, you have access to everybody and anybody I know too. How do we foster this? And look at him now, dude. He's cresting 3 million on Instagram.
Yeah, he's crushing it, dude.
and there's a little bit of pass it on in that too. Because like I remember like just starting out, I'm like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I started getting some traction. I maybe got to like 100,000, a couple 100,000, which like to me was fucking awesome at the time.
That was huge at the time though.
But then like I had access to like you guys were super fucking helpful. I had like Demo Matt, just retired. So many people helped me get there, and like I'm constantly looking for the next person. Like I try to give advice where I can, and like help people where I can, but it's like I have a hard time identifying who the next people are.
Dude, because honestly, like you got to be good.
Yeah.
Like I am convinced that TikTok kind of robbed us because it kind of made creators lazy. And like where we had to cut our teeth on DSLRs back in the day, and like all of us knew how to edit, and we would have to go shoot and edit and make a good video. Like now, those things aren't viewed like they were back then, and kind of the dumb TikTok trends are viewed, and that just makes people lazy. Like therefore, we're not seeing good creative come out because they're just jumping on these trends.
Yeah, and one thing I don't like about TikTok too, and like I'm not talking shit about TikTok, I just never really used it, but the one thing I saw as like a negative trait across social media that kind of spawned is the encouragement of copying people.
Yes,
like trends,
by the trends and like the what do they call it, Dave? Like when you
just sample someone else's audio
or something, yeah.
I have the smallest social media presence in the room, and you asked me.
But you know what I mean, where they use somebody's audio and like, oh, it's literally the same thing that 1,000 people have done. It's me doing it, and it's like, okay, well,
oh look, I made a tortilla challenge video. Like,
well, I mean, even those, it's like you're doing your own thing. It's when it's literally just you lip syncing the same thing that 800 other people have. I'm like, what is being built here?
Evolving a trend is one thing, but like the people that just stand there and like. Literally, at some point in their life, they're standing alone in a room with a phone pointing at them, just
and this is
above
where
them, and they put some stupid video that someone else put work into, and now they're getting traction off of it.
This is where I wonder if we're all just getting old now. Is
this how that complaining about the new trends?
Yeah, these kids will never fucking know what it was like.
There are creative ways to do these things. Like Blake Rosser is a great account, and he's just a guy that finds the weirdest videos on the internet, and then he pretends like he's giving them the prompts of what to do. Have you ever seen this where he's like, okay, now cut the heel off of that high heel. All right, now screw 7 golf balls in there. All right, cool. Now dip it in red paint. Like,
well, did you see Kevin? I think it was who is it? Kevin James. Kevin James, his audio guy bits, where he would just like be the audio guy of like several movies, and he would just green screen himself into movies. He did it.
The most popular one was that the audio guy in I Am Legend.
Yeah. And it was hilarious. Like he was just an actor that popped onto the YouTube scene, but he actually did something creative with it.
I feel like the next like generational complaint is going to be AI.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's talking about like, oh, AI just stole every graphic designer's job or whatever. But
get good.
I think it's going to be just removing one more barrier to entry as far as people may not have the technical skills. Like people don't have to know how to run a camera. They just have to know how to turn on a cell phone. But now they literally just have to brain dump an idea. And if it doesn't look like the way they saw it in their head, they just give it another prompt. Like,
I mean, here's the other thing too: is these AI tools are great. Like Suno is a prime example. Like, have you fucked with Suno?
That's the audio one, right?
That's the music one. So, but the thing is this is open for everybody. And when me and Jack stumbled on it a year ago, we were like, oh my God, everybody's gonna take this and everybody.
You were sending me so many songs.
Oh, like funny. You can type in like funny stuff.
Justin, we'll show you.
Oh, let's go. You said that, I'm already like, yes.
Oh God, we're gonna have Jack do a whole demonstration for you after this.
I'm down.
But it still takes a creative mind to do kind of the things what Jack and I did. Like the first music video we did is there's a monster in the closet trying to finger us, and we lit Heather's room up, and Jack and I are in bed, and we keep looking at the closet, and there's a monster just doing this. So we made this video to this song. It's like the monster's trying to finger us. Like you still have to like have the mind to make a production out of it. Even though these tools are there, you need to know how to use them to make entertainment.
But the thing is, even if you refuse to use it, somebody else fucking will. Yeah. So it's like, what are you going to do? Not evolve with technology?
Well, it goes with everything. It goes with fighting, even with jiu-jitsu. Back in the day, people were like, "Oh, that's you're going to do that jiu-jitsu." So now everyone does jiu-jitsu, and then all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, you want to wrestle? You want to go to the ground? Okay, cool." Then it's a constant involvement, right? Can you imagine in war if people are like, "I can't believe you're using semi-automatic weapons, dude. We use
real men only use swords."
Justin, war is very scary now,
dude.
And drones.
Oh, honestly, dude, terrifying.
No, I don't want anything to do with that anymore.
Terrifying.
I mean, you saw that like in the early 2000s. They're like, "Oh, you're using drones, coward."
Yeah,
just like before that, like, "Oh, you're using snipers, coward." It's like, well, shit evolves. You get better at stuff.
French Foreign Legion does not use. At least when I was trying to join, not really, just flirting with the idea in like 2010, and they do not have snipers. French Foreign Legion, because it's like immoral for them, right?
They like to see you when they kill you.
Yeah, dude.
The French Foreign Legion is something else, man.
No campers.
Yeah. I'm sure. I don't even know, dude. I read a book, read pieces of a book from the French Foreign Legion. I don't remember what it was. It was like in 2010, and some guy's best moment in the French Foreign Legion was saving a monkey that was dehydrated and dying, and he saved it. And he's like, that was my highlight of my experience. And I was like, all right, I'm not doing this. Like I would have helped it too, but
I
like,
think the lure is over more than what we think.
yeah, you actually can't be a felon, right? And it's
I thought
funny.
that was the whole point.
No,
Yeah, I thought so too. I
you
thought there
can't
was
be.
a bunch of.
Or you can't be on the list of what is that?
Interpol.
Yeah, Interpol.
Well, those are different things.
That's a different list.
Yeah, that's,
Touche.
Well, if what?
I mean, that's like a list you got to earn.
Yeah, yeah, and honestly, you should be proud of it. If you make Interpol, you know.
Yeah.
Well, where can people like? Do you post your comedy schedule and stuff like that on Instagram? If people,
I'll
wanna
post
go
it in my
see you-
stories
Yeah,
primarily.
good. All right.
I need to do a better job at posting my comedy itself. For some reason, I just have all my other stuff on my, the Naked and Afraid, the fighting, the dog stuff. But yeah, I'll post everything on my stories. I do shows every week.
That's the
Yeah,
most common question I get when people talk about you. How do I see Justin?
Yeah, at Justin Governale on Instagram. I post everything there. And yeah, dude.
And then
I'm proud of
Brandon.
you. Man. No,
is
you've done really well in the comedy space.
Thank you, bro.
It's been fucking cool to see.
at
fun, man.
AK Jesus Christ is how you get a hold of
No,
Brandon.
no, God, no. No, you just find me over at my own stuff on YouTube or Brandon Herrera on YouTube or just the Unsubscribed podcast or whenever I come back here.
Hell yeah! Thank you. guys.
If they have me back. But no, thank you for having me, man.
Fun. This was fun. Bye, Dave.